guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on this eye look right here using the new Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. Absolutely stunning palette. Looks like this. Look at this color story. Like, this just screams summer vibes, and I love oranges and corals. You guys know it's just basic color theory, but that whole entire color family just makes the blue eyes pop, and I love this look. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough. It was just a super easy, effortless blend all the way through. I did have a couple of hiccups. You guys will kind of see that throughout the tutorial. I do want to give you guys the full kind of 411 on this as far as like cost and how many grams you get compared to like her normal size palettes. Price breakdown and kind of all of that. If you guys are interested in that, then just keep watching. Otherwise, I'm going to timestamp right here below where the tutorial starts. If you guys don't want to like get all that like info, you can just, you know, fast forward to the timestamp below, which is where the tutorial will start. And yeah, so if you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified of all of my future uploads. YouTube will then notify you. If you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Lauren Jade. I'm 57. I have wrinkly, old, crepey, wrinkly skin. It is what it is at my age. So my tutorials are focused on hooded eyes that are slightly downturned and dealing with mature, crepey, wrinkly skin. So I do things a little bit differently on my channel. Just working with hooded eyes, I feel like putting in maps and guidelines so I can kind of really see that socket line and just kind of really work in that space. Really helps me because I cannot follow a traditional cookie cutter one size fits all YouTube tutorial where they just go in and swashbuckle a bunch of color all over the place in their crease, because with hooded eyes there is no crease, and I just cannot swashbuckle all that color around. It just would be like a hot mess. So you guys will see that I do things a little bit differently here on my channel. I also talk a lot. I like to kind of explain in detail. So if you guys don't like a lot of, you know, explanation and in-depth instruction, then you guys, that I'm sorry, you're probably not going to like my videos, but it is what it is. That is just kind of how I like to show you guys things, and I just feel like it's the way that I learn the best. So all right, that's it. I'm going to stop yakking and let's get into the 411 on this palette. Any you know, shortages of, she didn't like, you know, cut back on, you know, how can we save some extra money. So let's take a look at the back. So the packaging is the same versus on the large one, which is $129 versus the $65. You still have these holes in the back, which allows you to kind of pop out the pans if you wanted to put them in, you know, a Z palette. So she did not skimp on that. The packaging is exactly the same. You have the full-size mirror in both palettes. They are both made in Italy. All right, so let's take a look at the actual breakdown of the pricing, because these retail, this is her normal size palette size, which is $129, and this one retails for the $65. So in this palette, you are getting 19.25 grams of product. Let me go ahead and open that. So with the 15 pans, that makes it roughly 1.28 grams of product per pan here, whereas like in her larger ones you're getting 2.5 grams of product, and you can see that they're just kind of slightly larger. I'm going to grab this Sunset just to show you guys, because this is like the sister to the Sunrise. So this is what the Sunset palette looks like with the 2.5 grams of product per pan. So you can see with these side by side, you can see the difference, but it's literally like a half the price. So $65 versus $129, 1.28 grams of product per pan versus the 2.5 grams of product per pan. So there you go with that. I'm gonna hold these up for a second so you guys can just see the color stories of both. I'm going to actually read the actual website description talking about this palette, but basically you have 3 different finishes. You have your creamy mattes, you have duochromes, and then you have metallics. So I'm going to go ahead and read what it says here. It says, a palette inspired by the warm glow of the morning sunrise with sunny yellows, crimson corals, earthy browns, and powerful pinks, all made to melt together in perfect harmony. Does that not sound like amazing? Yeah, it just even sounds amazing. All right, so let's see what else you need to know. So basically you are getting 15 brand new shades in Natasha Denona's iconic formula. These shades are packed with the highest quality ingredients to create a buttery soft texture that just blends seamlessly for vibrant, ultra pigment, and long lasted looks. You get the duochromes, velvety mattes, and sparkling metallic hues, which will elevate your senses and inspire you to create your very own radiant works of art. So that is the description on the website. This is on the actual Sephora website. So that's, I think, pretty much is it. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with this. Look at that packaging, like it just even looks, you know, fiery. But anyway, let's just appreciate this look for just a second. Oh my word, it is I'm living for it. I love this whole color family. All right, that's it. Let's get into this tutorial. All right, so I've already went ahead and primed my eyes. I used my MAC Paint Pot in soft ochre, and I set that lightly with a little bit of translucent powder. And I'm going to start with my wing. If you guys follow me for a while, you guys know that I skip around. I don't follow the traditional cookie cutter, one size fits all. That just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to actually take the Sunset palette, since we're working with the Natasha Denona Sunrise today, and I'm just going to grab this shade right here, and I'm going to put in my little baby wing. If you guys follow me, you guys know that this is just a process that works for me. I like to skip around a lot, and it really helps me to kind of get in there and really see my socket line once I start to put in some maps and some guides. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with this. I'm going to start my little baby wing, and I'm going to start this by just putting in the tail. And I'm taking that tail not very far up, maybe a little bit past my natural crease, which is right here. And I'm following the alignment of my lower lash line. So I'm not only elongating it, but I am lifting the eye up because my eyes are slightly downturned. And then I'm going to take the tip and I'm just going to draw a line straight out. And then I'm just going to fill this in. And I like to have it a little bit thicker on the outer corner and then a little bit thinner as I get to the inside. All right, now I'm taking a little bit of that same shade on this flat definer brush from Makeup Forever, and I'm just going to take this now to the inner corner, and I'm just going to stamp along the root of this upper lash line. And you guys know the drill. I always do. I keep it a little thinner on the inner corner and then a little thicker on the outer corner. That just kind of increases the illusion that the eyes are not so downturned when you have it a little bit thicker on the outer side. So now it looks like it's not so downturned, and I have the illusion that it's actually angled upward. So I'm just going to stamp this along the root all the way to the inner corner. So I'm going to take my Sigma E35. I'm going to dip in here. And now that I have my wing done, I can better see my shape and my socket line. And this is kind of acting also as tape. So I now have more of a guide as to where I'm going to bring my shadows out to. So I know that they're going to come out to here. They're going to kind of stop here. So I can better see kind of the actual outline. And once you start working with your eyes a little bit more, you can kind of visually see that. So I'm going to start on the outer corner. And I love these like flat brushes because they're really good with circular motions. You can just really get a nice wash of color. So I'm just going to be right on my socket bone I'm going to take that to the inner corner. And what I like to do is grab a little extra and just do a little swirl up here towards the brow. And I like to brush it up there towards the brow. I just feel like it really kind of softens that area and really gives me that nice kind of sultry fade that I always call it. And I'm just kind of really addicted to that. I love that inner corner shading. So that is what I'm gonna do. And I just use circular motions because this brush is so good at giving a nice wash of color. And this comes in 3 different sizes, the 35, the 38, and the 40. So I'm just gonna do that little swirl, the inner corner, brush this up to the brow, and then I'm gonna kind of take it down here and just kind of connect to the nose contour. Just do a little slimming of the nose while I'm here because why not? So here she is. Oh my God, she is so, so, so beautiful. The color story in here is just like, oh my gosh. All right, so now that I have my crease bronzed up in my wing, I kind of have a little bit of an idea of an outline and a guide, and I have my shape kind of mapped out. I can really kind of visually see now my socket line. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually, this is kind of like a first impressions really, because I have not played with hardly any of these shadows. I think I kind of dipped into this one just because it's so beautiful, and I just could not wait to see what that one looked like. I just wanted to kind of dip into like a couple here. So that is what I did. But all of these others I have not touched. So it's going to be kind of a first impressions really. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade right here, Carnelian. I'm going to attempt to pronounce any of these. And I'm going to still use my Sigma E35 brush because I want the same effect. Just kind of a nice swirly wash of color. This has a little bit of a orangey slash peachy kind of hue to it. So this is actually a perfect to give me that nice. I'm not taking it really as high as that bronzer. That is the issue of filming on a cell phone sometimes. It just shuts off when you get a phone call. So I'm just swirling this and taking this right on my socket bone. You see I have my little guide here. So you can see I'm not going past that. I'm going to grab my MAC 224 for this one, and I'm going to go into Citrine. And this is a little bit more yellowy. Like, even though they both look yellowy, this one pulls a little bit more orangey and peachy because it has that more orangey kind of undertone to it. And this is just more yellow, like the canary type yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of not necessarily blend out the edges really of this shade, because you can see that it just was a seamless, effortless, airbrushed, you know, blend kind of right off the bat. It just literally, they're so creamy. They just kind of blend themselves really. But I'm just going to take this kind of right on top. So it kind of has that little kind of a yellow to orange kind of a gradient. So basically this is just going to kind of halo, if you will, over this other shade here. And I'm just making it really airbrushed and airy out here. All right, now I'm going to actually start to kind of map out my shape. I'm going to use a M441 from Morphe, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit more of this shade, and then I'm going to go into this one. But I'm going to start to map out the shape. I'm just going to deepen this up. So now I have kind of a light wash of color, and I'm just going to kind of deepen up that same shade. So I'm going to start, I'm working right, here's my natural crease, and I'm going to be kind of right above. And I'm working right inside of my socket bone. I can see my socket line, and I'm just going to lightly start to really define the shape of my eye socket here. All right, now I'm actually going to really kind of deepen up the actual crease, and this is where I'm really going to add some depth and dimension and really kind of carve out that actual crease line, make it really kind of deep and just bring some dimension and depth into the overall look. So now I'm going to go into my angled liner brush. I'm going to take the same shade, this Jasper shade, and I'm going to follow along this wing shape here. And I'm going to go directly above my natural crease with this. And I want this to be like a gradient effect. So I don't want to blow this color out all over the place, which is why I'm using the winged liner brush. So I can get this precisely where I want the actual depth, so that this is actually looks like a real crease line, if you will. And I'm just gonna follow inside my socket shape right here. All right, now I'm gonna go back in with that MAC 217, and before I kind of buff out these edges, I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that shade and just kind of really deepen up right along this outer part, because I feel like this is where I see my natural crease. So I just want like the majority of the depth kind of out here, and then just kind of faded in as I go towards the inner corner. So that is what I'm gonna do for this particular look. And I'm just really working so lightly, like I'm barely even touching here. I just really want it a little bit deeper on this outer part here. So I can still see that I've got a gradient here going on, and that's what I want. I did not want to blow this out and have that darker shade overtake the entire look. I'm taking now a clean M433, and I'm going to take a little bit of citrine, and I'm going to actually blend out now the edges of that Jasper shade. And I'm going to do that by just kind of laying down some color, just kind of pressing that pretty much right on top. And then very, very lightly, I'm just going to do small circular motions out here. And literally this like blend is just seamless. It is just like effortless. It's like, it's almost like they just kind of blend themselves, literally. Like this look has been just effortless. All right, now for the fun part, I'm just gonna take the same shade, and I'm just gonna kind of carve out my lid space, just kind of map this out and kind of get this prepped and ready for the shimmery shades here. Now, if you guys don't want to use like shimmers, or if you didn't want to use any of the sparkly, whether it's duochrome, metallics, shimmers, if you guys don't want to use any of that, you could totally stop here, and you would have such a beautiful, soft socket, contoured, you know, just a gorgeous look. All right, I'm gonna take this brush and just kind of go over the edges of that so it's all nice and smooth. I would just love to stop here. I just think this is such a beautiful look. Shader brush, and I'm gonna start out with just laying some of these shades down dry, and then I'm gonna go in for the actual bang pop with a wet brush. All right, so I'm gonna start with a little bit of Azalea. I think I'm gonna be my normal self and just kind of mix two of the shades together, just because that's what I want to do. And I'm gonna put this right on the edge here. All right. Okay, so all right, so I like to see boom, bang, pop right off the bat, and I didn't really see that. I put a little bit on my finger here, and it's not really popping. I mean, it's not bad. And I did spritz the brush a little bit, and I think what I'm gonna have to do is put a little bit of eyeshadow base on first, so that it has something to really kind of adhere to, and then I think we're gonna see that pop. All right, I'm just gonna take this NYX eyeshadow base, which is like in pure white. Okay, so I got that done, and I feel like for me that was like the defining moment to kind of get that actual pop. This NYX, because it is white, it really makes the shadows pop. I love using a white base of any type. I always just need that kind of amplifier shade underneath to really get that pop. I just felt like that was what I needed to make these stick better. Yes, they do look beautiful applied with the finger, as you can see, but that is because I laid down that base. And then I had to go back in and clean that up with the brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same brush. I'm going to go back into that Laurel, which is that metallic-y shade. And I'm going to show you guys how I just kind of put this together. So this is going to be kind of like my inner corner brightness. And I'm just going to kind of mesh it in with that that azalea shade, which is a duochrome. And once I kind of smooth around the edges, I go back in and I'm going to take my definer brush right here, and I'm going to go back into some of these shades that I use. I'm just going to really kind of mix them together because I don't want it too deep, but I do want that dark to light to contrast. And I'm just going to re-intensify this actual fake crease now that I have my lid done, and I'm just going to go right over the border of the metallic-y shades and that duochrome shade, and then I'm going to take the M433 and I'm just going to kind of dust away any little shimmery particles. Okay, you guys know that I have to do my signature inner corner brightness. I am in love with this look. It was so, all right, I'm gonna actually spray my face, touch up my lips and my face, and then come back and give you guys my final thoughts. All right, I'm gonna actually spray my face, and then I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts. Whew. Wow. By the way, I just used the Kylie setting spray. So, wow. So, I gotta say, I am in love with this look. This literally was a effortless blend for me. And I really have been doing a lot of the layering and building technique. It doesn't matter if I work with color or if I work with neutrals or bronzy shades. I just love to layer and build and just really kind of take my time and really kind of pack on color. I like to use pressing and tapping motions. You guys know from my application, I just cannot go in there with a large fluffy brush and just swashbuckle that color all over the place. It just does not work for me or my eye shape, so I'm always a little bit more meticulous, but I do a lot of apply blend and a lot of layering and building, and I just really felt like with this palette and these creamy mattes that it was literally like an effortless blend. I felt like these shades just melted into each other. I had no issues. The only issue that I had, and you guys seen that throughout this video, was, you know, applying these shades. When I did use the finger, it was really good and creamy, and even when I, you know, spritzed the brush, I felt like I got a good result after I actually laid down that base. So for me, that was the kicker, I guess, if you will. But other than that, zero issues. I love it. The color story is amazing. I mean, how could you not love this? Like, this just screams summer to me, and I love sunset and bronzy type looks. I feel like that whole color family is just basic color theory, but I just feel like that whole family just makes, you know, blue eyes pop So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm definitely going to do more looks with this palette here. And yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me on my little journey using the new Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. And mwah, love you guys. See you in my next one. Bye.